Chase, the last time you and I were talking, I did something I think that you probably feel is extraordinarily dumb. And I upgraded my PS5.
A that ends with Y.
And I promise you, I come bearing gifts this Thursday evening with you. I told you, hey, I'm getting the PS5. I want to finish the fight in Death Stranding. I want to get ready for Ghost of Yotei. What could have I done that is dumber than that to tell you about this week? And I can show you. To give you a hint, I can show you right now.
I already know about some of your other purchases lately. So I assume you're not talking about that.
No. You have no idea about this.
Okay. Did you buy some sort of portable bullshit?
Yep.
Like, did you get like another ROG Ally or something?
I got the PS Portal.
Oh no! No! Why?
It was on sale, and I had racked up a bunch of Best Buy bucks from all the other dumb shit I've purchased.
Bobby, there are audio only listeners who still don't know what is happening.
I said I had a PS
Portal.
Garbage
Did you purchase? Yeah, but I was screaming over it.
I got the Midnight Black PlayStation Portal. And
why did you do this?
It's a really simple reason why. My office is upstairs. We have the puppy. Sarah has had like a hair appointment where she was going to be out for multiple hours. She's been helping out with her folks. The dogs are much chiller, like all down in the living space where all their toys and stuff are. And there's some stuff I wanted to play. Death Stranding being, I wanted to finish that up before we recorded tonight. And I've been really into Ghost of Yotei, which I'll talk about in a little bit. I've been kind of like also just morbidly curious, like what the fuck even is this thing? Like, how does this thing even function? What does it do? And so I will tell you, I got this thing sub $100, like less than $100.
Still too much.
This is a very
have to pay me money for me to buy.
Look, this is a weird thing. Like I still, after using it, I'm like, this works really well for this very specific situation I'm in right now. Yeah. And I'm still kind of baffled by this thing. Like, I don't quite know. And they've sold exceptionally well from what I've seen, but I still
incredibly, surprisingly, shockingly well. Yeah. I don't understand it.
What I will tell you is, I think like just take away all the things that like you don't like about the idea of remote playing. Just like kind of put that on the shelf for a second and just talk to me about handheld gaming. I don't think there's a more well-crafted piece of hardware that I've held. This thing feels so good.
I know some people disagree, but I think the DualSense is a really good controller. I love the feel of the DualSense controller. I think that screen looks really nice.
Yeah,
it is the right form factor for something that I would want to play. And I just know that as soon as you boot that on, the rest of it goes, this is stupid.
So right here in the corners, I'm holding it up. I'm showing Chase where the thumbsticks are, like directly below those is where like the touchpad sensors are. So you just like move your thumb and swipe in the corner. It works really well here in my house. I have not tried playing this outside of my own home network. The screen's great. It's so lightweight. Like playing this thing for an extended period.
Yeah, it's lightweight because there's nothing inside it.
It's crazy.
Nothing that lets it do things.
I will also tell you, I tried the like the games that they give you away in like whatever catalog. You can just stream those to it now. Like that's one of the things they fixed after it launched. So you can play more than just your PlayStation. I don't know, man. I'm like on a kick playing some PlayStation games right now. That's few and far between for me. I think if you were somebody that lived in a house where you maybe had an office like I do, or maybe you had a partner that you were sharing living space with and they wanted to watch something you wanted to keep playing and you just wanted to be next to each other. Yeah. This is a cool way to do it. There's plenty of ways to remote play right now, but you get all the haptic stuff. The lights are like the LED that goes around the touchpad that sometimes is like a context clue is on the grips of the controllers, which is nice. The audio is pretty good. I haven't tried doing anything with like Bluetooth headphones. It seems like it's really designed to work with the Sony branded stuff, but it works. Weird. Right. Like you can't probably like, maybe you could sync your AirPods up to it, but there is a headphone jack on it.
Bobby.
Yeah.
Please tell me you're not going to buy those fucking PlayStation.
No, dude. No. I honestly don't think I will. I don't think I'll ever travel with this.
Just wait. 4 months from now, Bobby's going to be, hey, I got him sub $100. So I don't know. I figured I'd buy him.
I think it's like, for me, like, this is a cool thing that I can bring to either my basement or into my living room if I need to. But I am mostly here to tell you, I think that they built a really well-designed thing. And whatever they do next, which they're building something more like a Switch, it sounds like. If it feels as good as this and you can dock it, I think there's a cool thing here. Like, I think this is a cool prototype in the way that the Wii U was to the Switch. So it's kind of fascinating to be like, maybe this is a stepping stone to something that people actually really fucking like. And Sony has a lot of data that tells them people want something portable again. So who knows? I'm stupid. I'm a dumb fuck. Yes. I beat Death Stranding.
No argument here.
And I played a lot of it on here, and I had a really good time doing that. Yeah. But this is the casual hour.
It does seem like it makes more sense for your situation. Like, as a single guy, I'll tell you, sure. I have not played my Switch in handheld mode I don't think I've ever played my Switch 2 in handheld mode.
You only play it that way when you're at the lake, right?
Not anymore. I don't have to.
That's right. You got the dock.
And I'm getting the other dock, Genki. I don't know if we actually talked about that. Genki
we did talk about that.
Their Shadowcast, or not Shadowcast, the Covert Dock 3.0 or whatever.
I think there's a new Shadowcast too, though.
There is a new Shadowcast. I didn't get that though.
Yeah. Look, I know that you and I think that was like an immediate backing when they first announced the original one, and we've talked at length on this show about the frustration of the cost of that dock and some of the decisions there. And guess what, folks? We're going to talk a lot about big fucking company decisions tonight around video games.
You came here to talk about how great video games are.
We're going to do a little bit of that, but we're going
to talk about some good video games, and then we're going to talk about some bad video game industry stuff.
Yes, and there's been a lot. So we're going to talk about the Xbox stuff. We're going to talk about the EA buyout stuff. As I teased earlier, I beat Death Stranding. I'm going to talk a little bit about like maybe a minute tops on that. But Ghost of Yotei came out. I'm going to spend most of my night talking about that to Chase. I streamed a game on Monday that you should go and check out. I'm going to briefly talk about that because Chase has seen it before. Chase, you've been playing that new Digimon. I really want to hear your thoughts on that one. And then we're going to unpack all that other stuff. So buckle up, lean in. We're going to have a good conversation about this stuff. It's going to suck. It's not a fun conversation, but it's one that we got to have. This is the first game I got credits on that Kojima has made, Chase, which is a weird thing, but
it is a wild statement.
I loved Death Stranding 2. I had a really good time with that game.
I know when we first talked about it, when that game first came out, we played a little bit of it. The first time we discussed it on the show, we were pretty back and forth on it. I think we were pretty darn mixed, especially when it came to just how the game felt to play. I think there was some issues around combat and things like that. And I don't know if the game got better or I just got used to it, but a lot of those things just kind of ended up melting away, and the parts I really liked about that game continued to shine.
Yeah.
And I also think I really like Death Stranding 2, even though I think that ending is so goddamn
I mean, look, the story was not great. We'll talk about that in only 8 episodes when Game of the Year hits. But I really, really had a good time with that. Like, the video game-ness of that was a ton of fun for me. And I think it's a game I actually probably will go back into and like build a few more roads and just maybe level up a few more of those, just because I enjoy. The more I think about like this is where I'll end my talk on it for now, because I've talked a lot about this game over the last few weeks. Yeah. I'm a little depressed that I don't have the decompression that game gave me. And just driving around making deliveries was a pretty cathartic thing for me. And it was just a calming, good experience. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. So
Bobby, I got good news for you. If you want to just drive around and do deliveries, there are many.
I know. And that's what I'm scared about. That's what I'm scared about. So I beat Death Stranding. Obviously, we both enjoyed it. We're going to talk more about that come Game of the Year. Chase, you and I checked out a demo at one of the Next Fest for Starbirds. This is the next game from the Dorfromantik folks. This is a really colorful, very well designed game. I think, let me pull up price on this really quick. I think it's like $20.
$20 on Steam.
Yeah. This came out not that long ago. It is September 10th. It's early access, so like they're going to keep building out on it. But this is the one where you had to go to the planet, like, hey, this planet might have aluminum. You have to then bring that aluminum to a star base or to another planet, and you're building like mixing stations, and you have like little micro assignments that you're doing for these birds to expand out while they're in space. It is a automation game, but it's done in a very clever way of like you're networking these planets together with strands. Yeah. It's a Kojima game, but you're bringing these planets together because there's like up to 3 different materials per planet in a solar system or a universe or whatever it is, and you're bringing those together to then meet these micro assignments. Excuse me. I'm having a lot of fun with it. We had a really good stream on Monday night. Chase had the week off, so he took Monday just to chill, which he deserved. I got on there, played a little bit of this, had a really nice time. But you should check it out. Starbirds Early Access, Steam only right now, $20. But Dorfromantik is a really cool game. The studio seems to have a good track record of supporting things that they care about. This seems to be a very different game, but a very exciting one nonetheless. And then last Friday, I think you stopped by briefly. I was playing Ghost of Yotei. That came out on last Thursday on the PlayStation. It's a $70 video game. This is the follow-up to Ghost of Tsushima. That came out, 2018, 2017, somewhere in there?
Probably.
I think.
But yeah, something like that.
And much like Death Stranding, I bounced off of this one. And I don't know what was going on. Like, it was perfectly fine. It wasn't moving the needle for me like it was for other people back then. When Johnny was on the show, he was really into it.
Wow.
Damn. Okay.
I didn't think it was that recent.
Huh. But they're back with a sequel that is set a while, I think a couple hundred years, if I'm not mistaken, after the events of Ghost of Tsushima. And I'm having an absolute blast with this. This is such a cool video game. I was really optimistic, but just to again, full cards on the table, my cousin and I, we have game share. We split the cost of PlayStation games. So I didn't feel like I had that much, skin in the game here, and just wanted to check it out. And he was like, hey, if you don't like it, I'll just pay for it. I'll play it. But if you like it, throw me half. I'm like, yeah, that's a fair bet. So I picked it up. This one, in a lot of ways, it looks and feels like Ghost of Tsushima. Like, if you saw them side by side, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's what this is. Like, there's definitely some assets here. A lot of the mechanics are there too, like the standoffs, but they've made some changes here, and I think they've made changes for the better. So I don't know how to say this without kind of sound like a dickhead. I feel like Sucker Punch, and you and I have talked a bit about this. There's been some drama around that studio with the launch of this, but even before that, this is a Western studio, touching on some very sacred stuff when it came to Ghost of Tsushima, especially. And I think that they were overly precious about some stuff in a way that didn't come across as authentic to me, but more of like fetishizing in a way when they made the first game.
Okay.
And so it just felt kind of up its own ass. Like, it felt a bit pretentious for what I was wanting out of a game, especially from this Western studio. And so that game was very serious in a lot of ways. And Ghost of Yotei is too, but not nearly to the degree. It felt to me like Sucker Punch was like, we love these old samurai movies. Let's make one, but a video game. And there's a lot of that's cool. I can get on board with that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to imagine that when they were thinking about making Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Tsushima, that the creative director comes in and just writes on the whiteboard, Akira Kurosawa, the video game.
100%.
And everyone goes, yes, yeah, okay.
All right,
and they all know what they're doing. And then they did it. And that's exactly what they did. And a lot of people liked it. And I didn't really care about it as much as I like
100%
Kurosawa movies.
So they want it to be very precious. And I think that's okay. This is, if that is like a Kurosawa, right? Like that first game, this one feels way more like a Western to me. It's got a little tinge of Kill Bill to it. It's got a lot of Blue Eye Samurai in it for me. Like I think
honestly, those two genres, Westerns and samurai,
very similar,
all do share a lot of stuff.
100%.
In the way that, Magnificent Seven has been
100%
back and forth. Like we've just taken that story and put it in both worlds.
But it feels like, because of, and I guess for me, it feels like it's not as self-serious. So the subject matter is a very sad but very old tale of revenge. Your family gets murdered, you're left for dead, somehow you survive, and now you've got a 6-person hit list. And they're all named, they all wear a mask, you're going after them, you fucking have their names on a belt around your waist. And as you kill them, you fucking scorch out their name. It's very cool.
You're doing like an Arya Stark thing.
Yes. What I'm here to talk to you about is, what really is impressing me here is I think this is one of the best designed open world experiences I've ever played. They have removed every bit of friction. And I know that you're like anti-open world games, and I don't know if it's just the fatigue or if it's the design or a little bit of both. But
I think it's just it's too much wasting of my time. That I don't feel like the open world benefits me enough. That I understand it's cool to be immersed in a world.
Totally.
And to have a lot of things around you to do. Whether that's main content or side content. But it's cool that you have a world and you can go anywhere, you can kind of do whatever, and it's cool to just see those things. But also I'm at a point in my life where if I want to sit down and play a video game, I want to play a video game, not move from one end of a place to another, which is a very weird thing to say after I'm just talking about how much I like Death Stranding 2, which is a game completely about moving from one side of the world
but that's
to the other.
Game. Like, that's the friction. And in an open world, there's more interesting things to produce friction than just traveling to point A to point B. That, in my opinion, if it's a game about exploration and choice, it shouldn't be arduous. It shouldn't be heavy and cumbersome. It shouldn't feel like I've got an hour and 15 minutes before I can't open my eyes tonight. I don't want 40 of that trying to figure out where to go, how to get there. I just want to be able to play my game for a little bit before I get to work tomorrow.
Right. Like Burnout Paradise, I think, is an incredible racing game.
Yep.
But I still prefer Burnout 3 because I can just get into the fucking races. What if I could just start a race, have a race, and then the race ends, and I start another race instead of having to drive, 5-10 minutes to another place to go start the race. Like that it just feels like a lot of wasted time to me at a certain point.
No, and you're 100% right. And let me tell you why they have made this genre feel so fresh and inviting for me. Let's start with, you're on your home screen for the PlayStation. You go to launch this game. If it's dead stop, like you have closed this game completely, you do not even see a title screen. It literally just starts right behind your character. That's it. Like, that's how the game starts. Boom, you're in it. You don't have to click on anything. You're playing the game. Any location that you've been to in the game, literally any location, once you visit it, if you put the cursor over it, you get a button that says it has a picture of your horse. You click that, you like seconds, not even like 2 or 3, like maybe 1.5, you are there. If you're going back because you need to turn in a bounty, like most towns have a bounty board. They have the guy that does your armor. They have the person that does like your, you can get these like maps that you can overlay and find secrets in the world. Any of those, when you go to fast travel, it gives you a sub menu and it has the icons for all those. Like if I just want to get back to the bounty board, I go to town, I hit the bounty board. A second and a half later, I'm in front of the bounty board. Turn my shit in, grab new ones. I can either fast travel immediately back to where I was, or if I want to take in this very beautiful world, I'll hop on my horse and I'll go and do it. They've added in also from like a traversal standpoint, If you're out in the open world, you might see a patch of flowers that are white. That's like a speed lane. If you get in it, your horse just starts running incredibly fast. So it's like a fast highway to get through. I think that stuff is super smart. I think that the ability to go into the map, which is one of the best designs, like it's a little card system. So you're just like tabbing over. It's like, okay, cool. I'm on my bounties. I'm on my main story stuff. And beneath each one, it tells you what you will get if you do it. So if I wanted to get this weapon and I wanted to upgrade this particular type of weapon, all right, cool. I'm going to do this tonight. I know I've got 3 stops along the way. Boom, I can fast travel to the closest one and get there. Like the amount of time I've been given back to just do the stuff I want to do in this game is so fucking cool. The character work is fantastic. The story stuff is really deep. Like when you're going and finding these people, there's layers of like, hey, this one guy, it's his fucking grandson that's causing all this problem. And he's like trying to help you, but trying to like come to grips with like what's going on. So there's a lot of emotional weight to it. But the revenge stuff is like very popcorn bucket. It feels fun. There are those Kurosawa moments in it still. It's very fun to play. The blood stuff is great. The dismemberment stuff is great. The weapons all feel fantastic. The armor is way cooler. And it's all built, and you can have like 5 different loadouts. So I press start, hit the D-pad, immediately change my loadout. All my charms, all the gear. So if I need to be stealth, if I want to shoot people, if I want to do more parrying, I've got 3 outfits already kitted out. Boom, go and do it. Go with God. It is such a game that says we want the friction to be the conflict that you face. We want the friction to be the skill that you get on how you fight people. And you can play and dial in the difficulty level exactly with what you want. We built a really cool world. We want you to be a part of it, but we also recognize that you all are old and you have lives. Like, go live your life, play our game for an hour, and I promise you, you will walk away with quests completed, gear acquired, and just relaxation. Like, all those things are true at the same time. It's incredibly well done. And I have not seen an open world game in some time that doesn't feel overly dense. There's no weird, cumbersome, or like just, it's so easy to get into. And I think that's what's making me enjoy it so much.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of people say really positive things about this.
It's a cool game.
I think I brought this up, whether it was on a Casual Monday or something, but the idea that when you kind of put waypoints or not waypoints exactly, but when somebody tells you, hey, your quest, is over there.
Yep.
They're going to not like give you an exact point where you go to and that's where you need to be 100%. It's that you go in that direction. It's somewhere around there, but there's also enough other things, and you're really meant to explore that space in a way that's not just going from point A to point B to point C. And it's true. A much more fulfilling way to do an open world than some of those A to B to C ones that we've seen so many times.
The last thing I'll say on that topic there, I had a quest. It's like, hey, this person was last seen south of this location. Cool. I'm going to head over there. Like I've fast travel. I'm like, all right, I'm in the vicinity. I'm looking for it. But then like I had somebody who was walking by. I ended up doing like this little quick thing for them. But that little quick thing led to them telling me more about the location of the person I was looking for. And they seemed very unrelated, and I'm sure it was a very well-designed program, like, happenstance in the game.
Sure. I mean, well, they know, like, yes, it's an open world, but they can still program in ways. This is something that I remember Bethesda talking about with the Fallout games or even Skyrim of, you have certain monuments and landmarks, and despite being open, there is still pathing to these open world games. So they know where you picked up that quest. They know the direction you're going to succeed in that quest. And they know that generally, unless you take some big, out route where you take a big left turn, you're generally going to go in one direction. And if we put something in your way that, entices you to go, hey, here's a little side quest thing, they also know that, okay, if you're doing that side quest, it's probably because we put you on this direction. So now we can, get the trigger, hit the script that says, "Hey, by the way, we know where you're going. What if I gave you a little extra information about it?" Like there are smart things you can do in open world games like that, and that is the magic of them. I just generally find that I'm spending so much time on things that don't matter to me. In the grand scheme of things when I play open world games, and I would much rather just have a really curated experience most of the time.
Totally, man. So that's I beat Death Stranding, Starbirds early access, worth checking out. Ghost of Yotei, really, really cool game. Worth your time if you have a means to play it. Chase, how are the mons that are digital?
They're fine. They're totally fine. Like, this is I could see people being disappointed in this. I don't think they are. I think people.
No, I think it's actually doing pretty well.
Yeah, I think people have generally been enjoying Digimon Story Time Stranger, but I could see why they might not, because it does feel a lot. I'm 20 hours in, maybe a little less than 20 hours in at this point.
I think we're about the same. Like, I'm like 25 on Ghost of Yotei.
Okay, and so far it feels like Cyber Sleuth. It just feels like the previous Digimon.
And you liked that one a lot, right?
I do, but those are pretty old games at this point. And the thought was that, this is going to be a new experience. We're really going to upgrade something. It's going to feel like a sequel and not just, we took the same engine and put a bunch of new assets in it or something like that. And there's different things for sure. There's things that feel different, but a lot of this game feels like a side grade to me more than an upgrade. And that's fine, because I like those games. So making another one of those games is I'm happy, but I'm not blown away. And it makes me think, why did it take so long to get a new one of these if we really weren't going to push the boundaries that much?
I don't want to cross streams with you on this, but I feel a very similar tone, or at least maybe like acceptance. I don't know how to pinpoint it. The way that you spoke about Super Robot Wars Y, and the way that you're kind of speaking about this, it's like, hey, I really like this. This is my shit, 100% my shit. It's more of the same of the shit that I like. I'm good with that. This is what I need. But maybe like I'd like a bit more from these franchises that I follow so closely.
Yes and no. I think it makes them harder to recommend to people like you. I'm not going to come out here and say, Bobby, you need to play Digimon Story Time Stranger.
Yeah.
Because you don't. It's fine. This is just a chase game. But we've also bitched and moaned a lot in the past, and we'll continue to do so in the future. In fact, we'll probably do it in the next week. There's a different monster collecting franchise out there that for a long time didn't really change much of anything at all. And that was the big complaint people had about it. But all those games were good. All the Pokemon games were good. And then at some point they said, what if we really push the envelope and start changing it? And then they all started to get bad. And they've almost all have been bad recently. We'll see if ZA is good or bad. I mean, it's at least the second one of an offshoot that has been working relatively well in the grand scheme of things compared to something like Scarlet and Violet. So I'm willing to give that one a shot. But I am getting to the point where I am fine if games don't want to change all that much, and you just want to give me more of the thing that I like. And Digimon Story Time Stranger is, for the most part, doing that. So there's for the uninitiated, this is a turn-based strategy, or not turn-based strategy, just turn-based RPG in the vein of like a Persona, where you have a world that you kind of live in, and like the realish
Is
world.
it as mature as a Persona game?
No, God,
no. Okay, so it's more Pokemon kid level.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It's somewhere between. I would say it's a slightly harder edge than Pokemon.
It's a tween compared to a kid.
Maybe. Okay. I think somebody said damn. So
is this like a young adult, basically?
Yeah, sure. I think that's fair. I mean, Digimon has always had like a slightly harder edge than Pokemon, but not.
It was the Sega to Nintendo's,
Sure, yeah. I mean, there's like a Digimon that's just a gun. Like,
hell yeah!
Like its body is a revolver.
Well, there's a Pokemon that's a sword.
Yeah, but that's different. Like swords are not guns. It's just like a 44 Magnum that looks like Vivi from Final Fantasy 9. That's got like a cowboy hat on it that has like the little yellow eyes. But other than that, it's just a gun. It's just got a gun body. That's what Digimon does. But like this is a game where you hang out in one world and then you go into dungeons and fight in another world. And in Digimon, that is, you have the real world and you have the digital world, and you go into the computers and you do like a Tron kind of thing. Bobby likes Tron, right? Right, Bobby?
I do like Tron. I don't know how I'll feel about the movie you and I are going to watch tomorrow, but I like the other two.
Yeah. Even that second one's not all that good.
I love the second one.
I love parts of the second one.
Yeah.
Anyway, what they've done here that I think is them thinking they've done something new and brilliant is that they've added a third world, Bobby. What if there were 3 worlds in your 2 world RPG video game? So you have the time stranger part of it. You have the current timeline, current day.
Yep.
Then you have 8 years ago, because you start the game in current day. There's an apocalypse going on. You don't really understand what's happening. It's all kind of in media res. And then Shinjuku blows the fuck up. Like they show it just getting wiped off the fucking map with a giant explosion.
Holy shit.
But you get knocked back 8 years in time. And so now you're in Japan, Shinjuku area 8 years ago. But you also have a Futaba style handler, like in Persona 5, who's like on the comms for you, and they're still from 8 years. They're still from the current timeline, so they're calling you back and be like, "Hey, it's 8 years ago for you, and you've got to fix the timeline so the big explosion that just happened now doesn't happen now." Okay, great. So you already have a bit of like, okay, I'm going to be going back and forth through time. And I know that the game eventually does get to that point. It has not gotten to that point for me yet in 20 hours. I'm still just in the 8 years ago timeline. But then they go, hey. Also, this is a Digimon game. So there's the real world and then there's the digital world. So the current day, back in time 8 years ago, and back in time 8 years ago in the digital world, and I'm pretty sure there's going to be a current time in the digital world.
This is a lot.
It is a lot. So I think they're trying to deal with four worlds here, and I think that's too much. I think they're getting too cute. I don't really feel like there's a good benefit to it. I know that eventually they're going to come up with stuff. I've seen some reviews of this game where they talk about, you talk to this, younger Digimon that's like one of the, it's a lower level one. And then you'll go into the current timeline. It'll be much bigger. It's digivolved a couple of times, and it remembers you in like a Zelda style way, or you fix a thing in the past and you go to the future, and it's Ocarina of Time shit.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten there yet. I'm just going through relatively generic dungeons.
How many Digimon do you have at this point?
Oh, Bobby.
Like 50?
It's different in this game. It's different in these games than Pokemon. You can't think about it as going into the tall grass and catching a Pokemon.
Okay.
Because the way you catch Digimon in this game is that every time you fight a Digimon, you get a percentage of its data. And when you get to 100% of its data, or you fought it enough times where it gets up to 100%, you can download your own copy, more or less. So you just get your own, convert it to a
You wouldn't download a Digimon, would you?
You would. You'd absolutely download a Digimon. You do it many times in this game. But what you can also do is wait until you get to 200% data, the max, and then you can download that Digimon with much better stats. So you generally want to keep fighting them until you get to 200% with that one, and then you can grab that.
What's an average percentage you get per fight?
It depends. It depends on the
rarity
rank. It depends on the rank of the Digimon. So like a really young one,
like a Pidgeotto,
to 100%,
or a Pidgey. I'm sorry, like a Pidgey.
Sure. The Pidgey of this game is 100% in one battle, and then you fight a second one and it gets to 200%, and now you can download the one with the best stats. Cool. But then there will be here's like a Charizard, like here's a champion level Digimon. I'm not going to go through the Digimon levels for you. There's higher than champion, but like that one might give you 10% or 15%. So you're going to want to find a lot of those battles. So, or you just don't worry about it and you'll get them when you get them. But you end up having a lot of Digimon at one time. And also the game in a different way than the previous Cyber Sleuth games allows you to keep all your Digimon in one bank. Like you would, the older ones were closer to Pokemon, where just anything that you had, you could put into like a computer and then you bank them all. This one kind of lets you take them all with you wherever you go. It's just that you can only use 6 of them at a time.
But you can swap them out whenever you want.
You can swap them out whenever you want. And also, all those other ones, that box holds 999 Digimon that you're carrying around with you the whole time. All of them will get some sort of experience, which is new and different. That, these things are still leveling up, even when I'm just grinding with my main
that's
party.
Cool. So all everybody your Digimon else is always is going
levels. Up. Yeah. And in this game, they don't just evolve when you get to a certain level. They have to get to certain stat thresholds. So leveling them up gets them to some of those stats that you need. And then once a Digimon has enough stats to get to one of its evolutionary trees, and again, this is also very different than Pokemon because you can Digivolve things in an incredibly dense tree of, well, this can go into that, or it can go into that or that. This one can also go into that, but it could also go into these other ones that are completely separate from that other tree. They branch out a lot in this game. And part of the fun, at least for me, and I think for a lot of people, is getting to those combinations, is finding like, okay, how do I get to those stat thresholds to get to this one that I want? This one's silhouetted because I haven't seen this Digimon before. I have no idea what this one is. So I want to get my stats up to that point so I can see what that is and maybe open up a whole nother tree that allows me to get into a bunch of other Digimon. And some of it's, I've seen the anime before. I know that an Agumon turns into a Greymon. So I know I can have that one, and that's one of the trees that it can go down. But did you know it could also go down to this other tree instead? That's cool.
Do they add more Digimon every game, kind of like Pokemon does?
Pretty much, yeah. Okay. And because these, I don't think they've done anything to the models. I think these are just the same assets from the Cyber Sleuth games, maybe up-resed a little bit. I think they can pretty easily just pull in all the ones from the previous game and then add a handful more. So there are still a billion Digimon in this game, and that's cool. It's great to go find a bunch of them. And they are easier to level up than ever. I remember in the last games, what I would do is you'd kind of go back to that computer, you'd grab a new set of 6, you'd go fight some stuff, level those guys up to where they need to be, Digivolve them. In that game, sometimes you would get to a level maximum, that the level maximum of these things would change. Like in Pokemon, it goes up to 99 and then it stops. In Digimon, if you have a Digimon that you just got, maybe it can only go up to level 20. But then if you hit the stat thresholds, you can Digivolve it, and then it has a higher level cap.
Got it.
Or if you've hit the level cap and you don't have the stats to evolve it, you have to de-Digivolve it and take it back to its previous form to grind up more stats and also to get it to be able to go to a higher level.
It's conversion therapy.
No, I was about to say kinda, and then I realized no, what you said is actually not at all what I was trying to say. But sometimes you need to kind of go back and forth and nurture it a little bit more to get its bond level up or something like that, where it's able to get to those higher stats, or at least able to get to a higher level cap to get to those stats to allow you to evolve it. And this game says we kind of have some of that shit, but we also don't really. Yes, there are still level caps. You can de-Digivolve things, but we made it much harder because now we've added a personality system into this, that your Digimon has to have the same personality as the thing you're de-Digivolving it into. But when you Digivolve something, it changes its personality automatically because there's a default personality for each one, and that's different than the default for the one that you just Digivolved it to, or Digivolved it from. So you can't go back and forth as easily as you did in the last game. But you also generally don't have to do that in this game because they give you so many more options for training stats or just giving somebody like a boost of stats, that you can get an augment that says, just up its HP by 100 points. And sometimes you can just hit the stat thresholds that way and digivolve them that way. I'm spending a lot of time on this because that is like the part of the game that I care about. I think the story is dumb. I think the writing kind of sucks. I think the 4 worlds that they've done now is generally pretty stupid, but I guess they just felt they had to do something different. And I think generally you don't have to play the game like this. You can just play the game. If Bobby Pease was coming into Digimon and just saying, I'm going to play this video game, I'm not going to worry about all that digivolving shit. I'm just going to evolve the ones that say they're ready to be evolved. I think you could play this game perfectly fine. But for
I'll let you know, I'm downloading the demo right now.
You don't have to do that. I don't.
Well, no, I am a little curious.
Okay.
It says if it says I like it because I've played a lot of Temtem and Octopath Traveler 2.
Sure.
So
yes,
I mean, it's a demo. I mean,
some monster stuff.
How much could it cost? $10?
More than that. Modern video game.
I'll let you know. I'll report back to you. I will check out the demo and let you know next time we record.
I think it's perfectly fine. Like if you've played the Digimon story games before and like them, this is a new one of those. If you liked them before,
$70.
You're gonna like these. $70.
Up to 120.
Do what?
70 to 120, depending on what you get.
Oh yeah, because there's deluxe bullshit in there too. I will say the thing that bugs me, and of course it bugs me because I'm me, is it doesn't feel like that much of an upgrade if it's an upgrade at all. Why is this not on the Nintendo Switch? Why could they not make a Switch version?
Well, I wonder if there'll be a Switch 2 port of this.
Maybe, but I'll tell you what's there, at least visually, does not look impressive enough. Mechanically does not feel different or much more impressive enough that I go, oh yeah, I see why this couldn't.
Where are you playing this, by the way?
I'm playing this on a PS5, and it runs fine.
Okay.
But I'm playing this, and the other games came out on Switch, and you go, yeah, they seem just fine. They work just fine there, and this game isn't all that much better than those last games. I don't really understand why it wouldn't come to the Switch. It's fine. I'm having fun on the PS5. Right. I'm gonna keep playing this. I think I will get through it. But it's more Digimon, and that's fine for me. Some things are a little more annoying. Some things are a little easier. But hey, it's a game I kind of like.
Tomato. All right. So we talked about Digimon Story Time Stranger that is out as of October 2nd, currently on PS5 and PC. So it's back $70 if you want to check it out. There is a demo on Steam. I don't know if there's a demo on PlayStation, but you can check it out on the personal computer if you have a means to do so. All right, Chase, before we get into all the Microsoft talk, can you please let the fine folks that listen to our show know Microsoft is currently involved in the BDS strike. Can you please remind folks what's going on there and what they can do to learn more?
Yeah. Microsoft, they're doing some shady shit.
A lot.
They're still, while there has been a recent change, they did change some of their policies toward how they're working with Israel and the IDF specifically. Microsoft continues to fund, support, supply computers and other things, AI stuff and other shit that I don't like. But they're offering some support to Israel and the IDF specifically, in their ongoing genocide of Gaza. And regardless of ceasefires that were signed, Israel's still doing some shit. So BDS, the boycott, divest, and sanction organization, they're suggesting that, hey, find ways of boycotting Microsoft. And specifically, one of the things that they've targeted, because they try to have much more targeted strikes than trying to say, hey, we understand that we can't just say boycott all Microsoft stuff. People work on Windows machines. They've proliferated everywhere. It's hard to get away from that. But here's maybe a targeted thing you can do. And one of the things that they've done is first-party Xbox stuff. Just don't buy an Xbox. Don't use Game Pass. Yep. All that kind of stuff. There are easier alternatives for a lot of that stuff out there. There's plenty of video games out there for sure. So that is what's going on with Microsoft right now. They're already not in a very good PR place. And now
it's been rough for a while. And it got better. You know, like for me, you and I were very much Xbox 360 guys. We loved that era of gaming.
Yeah, original Xbox 360, even Xbox One.
That was my preferred place to game. That was where I wanted to spend my time. You know, we can go back all the way. We don't have the time for it tonight, but we can go all the way back to when the Xbox One got announced. And that's, I think, really when the heel turn started. People like ourselves, so much so, said, fuck it, I'm going to PlayStation. They seem to care about the gamers. And Microsoft spent a long time trying to get back into the idea of like, hey, we're gamers making stuff for gamers. We are pro-consumer. We are pro-gamers. We don't believe in console wars. We don't believe that you should have to fight with who you get to play with. And we don't really care if you buy a game over here, you get it over here too. Like you buy an Xbox game, you get it anywhere. They were leaning so hard into...
Yeah, I mean, Microsoft is so big that
huge.
They kind of realized, you know, why are we fighting ourselves when it comes to the PC versus an Xbox? Like they
totally
basically are just the same thing. Why are we fighting ourselves between an Xbox and a cable service? And that's what, you know, that Xbox One was about is, you know, this is going to be that new box for your house that has your DVR in it and has the cable stuff that goes into it. You're going to do all your things. This is like a media box for everything. And you're right. Sony was more like, well, we're just going to lean in the other way and make prestige single player games and, you know, lean into our video games.
You can share your games with people.
Over there
all
going like, Nintendo's like, hi, we still make
They've
games.
never been competing with Nintendo. Like Nintendo's always been the unicorn here. And I'll say this also, keep in mind, listeners, that Microsoft, as of today, has a market valuation of trillions of dollars, with a T on that. So the big thing that
compared to a Nintendo, compared to Sony, it dwarfs it so completely. But also, that's not Xbox. That's Microsoft.
That's Microsoft,
which is
the parent company.
Different.
The reason we're talking about this tonight is Microsoft at the beginning of October raised the price of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate up to $30 a month. That was going up from let's see here, it was like a $20, so a $10 increase. I'm looking at a chart right now. Netflix Premium, which has kind of been the biggest offender of like annual price raises for the same shit you get, like that, they have a steep incline, but it's predictable. This is a huge jump, and in some areas of the world, this is like 100% increase in a lot of ways. Like I think when 2017, when Game Pass came out, it was $10, and it was this really cool idea of like, we want you to have Game Pass because we tell you anything that we make that is a first party game is going to be on Game Pass. And guess what? We just bought 5 studios that make games that you love. We know that you love these games. We've marketed and analyzed all this. You will get them. If you give us $10 a month, you will get these games. So it kind of came down to, all right, that's $10 a month. It's $120 a year. If I buy 2 first-party games from Microsoft a year, I'm justifying this membership. And I know I'm going to buy more because you just showed me all these studios. So like, I'm in. Like, here's my $10 a month. I'm playing your games when they come out day and date on this service.
Well, and that's also Microsoft's grand plan. We talked about this when Game Pass was first announced, that yes, this was the best deal in gaming at one point.
It has been for a long time.
But that is because it needs to be a loss leader at that point. They know they weren't making money on, the money was coming in, but the amount of money they were letting go by having this kind of a service, it's the same with Netflix. Like you get its name out there, you get a subscription base of people, and you get them buying Xboxes, you get them getting into that ecosystem, and then you gradually raise prices to try to make that
and they've
work.
Done that. I mean, they raised it up to $15 in 2019. It went up to almost $17 in 2023. It went up to $20 almost a year ago in 2024. And so they went
up. While some people have their individual lines of like, okay, now it's too expensive, it's not a good deal for me anymore, I think for the most part, they've generally held on to their audience. The difference for this one is that one, it's such a massive hike.
It's a big hike.
And two, it's coming at a really bad time when people are not happy with Microsoft generally, not happy with Xbox specifically, not happy with the BDS thing. I think is a relatively small thing in the grand scheme of everything that's going on with Microsoft, but it's certainly a PR nightmare for them at the moment.
Big time.
And at this very moment, they go, well, I guess it's a good time to announce everything's getting way more expensive. And everybody just turns on it because, of course, they do. It happened similarly with Disney Plus just a handful of weeks ago with the Jimmy Kimmel stuff and ABC, taking him off the air temporarily. And then they said, oh, by the way, Disney Plus is going to go like the price of Disney Plus is going up.
Dude,
I feel like, are you fucking kidding me?
But even anytime that Disney's gone up, anytime that that Netflix has gone up, that HBO Max has gone up, or HBO, depending on the time of day, they have never, ever had their subscription pages crash. And I can tell you that people are fed up with this. They are over it. The stuff that they've added into it, they added Ubisoft Classics and they added Fortnite to it. Ubisoft Classics is $8 a month. Fortnite Crew, I think, is $10. So there's an $18 valuation on those services that nobody's asking for. What we want is the promise. You said you're buying studios that we care about. You're putting them underneath a brand that is pro gamer. And you're saying that if we buy your subscription, which is what you've been pushing, because everything in my house is allegedly an Xbox. Doesn't matter what I touch, it can fucking play Game Pass. That's what you've told me, Microsoft. You've said that. And then you start with all this other bullshit with the BDS stuff, but you bring in these studios and you start to fucking backpedal owning them or letting them make the games that we care about. And on top of that, you do some more fucking heinous bullshit on top of like charging this premium, which it's gone up. You've had to do this. It makes me have to question any authenticity in what you said in the court of law when it came to what you would do with these studios, let alone Game Pass. You talk about these plans for hardware. You start putting anything that was on Game Pass on other platforms. So people who were loyal to you are now like, well, what the fuck? Like they've got all those other games over there, but they don't have game. Like it just doesn't make any sense. The real catch here, Chase, is this: Call of Duty and Starfield. Those are the two things I want you to think about. They were the reason Microsoft was licking their fucking chops about buying those studios. Starfield is one of the biggest shit the bed moments in gaming in the last 15 years. That game was supposed to deliver and it didn't. They ate shit big time for that. They have lost.
Told them that was going to be
100%.
They didn't listen to me.
They've lost.
I should be running Xbox, damn it.
$300 million on Call of Duty alone due to it being on Game Pass. And Call of Duty has fucking sucked for a while. And the money and the metrics right now surrounding this launch that either just happened or is about to for the new Call of Duty Black Ops, not good. Battlefield 6.
They're fine, but they're definitely on a downward trend, and they've been on a downward trend even before they got bought. But certainly 100% after they got bought.
Here's the other thing to call out, and we've made this connection many times on the show. There's people in your life that that will tell you right now, I buy Call of Duty and I buy Madden. I buy those two video games every year. Data just came out recently that half of the U.S. gamers are only buying 2 games or fewer a year. So this idea that like, well, hey, if you want, lucky them.
Sometimes I'm like, damn, I buy too many video games.
If you want Call of Duty, and that's all you care about, you don't give a fuck about Fortnite Crew. You don't give a fuck about Ubisoft Classic. You don't give a fuck about any of those things. Mm-hmm. So I have this.
Well, that's buying 2 video games a year. Fortnite can be free.
Fortnite could be free. The other piece, though, is that it used to be the cost of 2 games a year. So it made sense for those people. I'm already spending that money. I'll buy your service because I'll get this other shit if I get a wild hair. Now it's 4 to 5 games a year is what it costs. One more thing I'll say on this. The idea here in my tinfoil brain, the way this is working, the timing is hard to ignore for a lot of reasons. But I think right before Call of Duty comes out is pretty fucking telling. Because if people were going to buy Call of Duty, maybe they'll continue to buy with or without Game Pass. And if they are more concerned about showing huge numbers on this game for whatever deals they've made to shareholders and above, people will stop buying Game Pass and they'll just go buy Call of Duty. So when this game launches, they've got a good pool of people who just canceled Game Pass. That's $30 I'm not going to spend on it. I'll put that towards Call of Duty. I'll get my Call of Duty. I'll be happy, and I'll be back in that ecosystem. It's fucking predatory. It's insane. Ubisoft figured this out. Everybody else did too. They don't even let you get the advanced access. If you are an ultimate member of Game Pass right now, you still have to pay them $30 for games like Doom the Dark Ages and these other ones if you want to play them 4 to 5 days before they come out with all the extra bullshit. Why on earth is that not built in on this? Why is Minecraft Realms not something that you build into this? Why is it Ubisoft Classics, which nobody gives a fuck about? Like, this is such a stupid thing. I am over it, dude. I've been very loud about my support when I shouldn't have been for this company and what they've been doing. I was really all excited about the acquisitions that were happening because I was a member of Game Pass. I'm like, cool, that means I get to play those games when they come out. The dream is alive. And here I am wiping egg off my face because I've been on this show numerous times every month telling you about my excitement for new Game Pass games. I've not paid for it for a while. I get it every year for holidays from family and friends. Don't give me that. Give me just fucking Steam gift cards. I will spend my money there. Like, Xbox to me is on a death march to being, fucking gone. And it's weird to think that we would be in a period where Xbox, as we've known it for the last 20 plus years, will just not be a thing anymore. It's really weird to think about.
Well, first, yes, you're wiping egg off your face now, but also you just dumped a brand new egg on your face with this PlayStation Portal. So there will continue
There's always
to be
egg.
eggs. There's always egg.
There's always eggs.
He can't get rid of the egg. Second, the thing that is disappointing and or concerning to me. We haven't talked about EA. We probably aren't going to really touch on that all that much. We're running out of time. But the EA stuff getting bought out by the Saudis or a conglomerate that includes the Saudis. That also sucks. But that is just kind of the most egregious version of the stuff we've been seeing normally. Like, yes, the industry's contracting. There's a lot of money that's being thrown around to buy IP and then to just sit on the studios or strip them all for parts. That sucks. And obviously this is the worst of it that we've seen so far, at least. But the thing that sucks for me is that for Xbox, you are, whether you want to or not, and it sounds like increasingly they don't want to be, but you are one of the 3 pillars that are holding up the video game industry right now.
Yeah.
You are one of the console manufacturers. There's Xbox, there's PlayStation, there's Nintendo, and then there's PC, but that's also kind of Microsoft. Yeah. And it seems like such an abdication of duty for Microsoft to make these bets, purchase all these studios, try to buy all this goodwill of buying a Double Fine or an Activision or a Blizzard or blah, 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 all the things they purchased. And then they come out and they say, oh, we're canceling projects because we really just want to focus on the high impact releases here.
Such bullshit.
And I go, the problem with saying that makes a lot of sense if you're one publisher who only has a handful of games that they're working on and a couple of them aren't working out, so okay, we're just going to focus on the high impact ones. I kind of get that. It still sucks, but I kind of get that. You're Microsoft, goddammit. 1, you have all the money in the world. 2, you bought all these studios. Like, what are they working on if not video games? Like,
that's the thing. If they've not fulfilled their commitment to that,
right? And the idea that you would treat these studios in the same way that the Saudi Public Investment Fund is going to treat EA of just like stripping it for parts and whatever, that makes more sense because, again, that's somebody who doesn't really care about video games coming in and making a buck or like doing whatever the fuck they need to do. But for Microsoft, they have a benefit to making video games in that they have the machines that you play video games on.
But they've also been successful. More video games. It's weird. I don't know if you saw it. Costco has stopped selling. You cannot buy an Xbox at Costco any longer because it was not selling well for them. And so I think that there's some, to your point, it's weird. I have a hard time just recognizing that any three of those studios you just mentioned, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and we're seeing it kind of happen right now, can just disappear. They can be gone from this industry. And there's going to be downstream impacts from that on an already shitty time for video games.
Yeah. It feels like such a waste to have these studios that at one point, and you know why we're going to take a hit here buying a Double Fine, we're going to take a hit here buying whoever the hell. But now we get those fans. If somebody wants to play the new Keeper game from Double Fine, they have to buy an Xbox to do it, or get a PC. But like they have to come to our thing, and then you get them. Like then they're your player base, and then you can sell them more stuff later, and that's how loss leading works. It also makes sense that you are buying IP. IP can be incredibly important if you're licensing it out to something else, making movies out of stuff. We've seen that with all sorts of stuff. Sony buys Destiny not just to make Destiny, but to be able to make a Destiny movie or whatever the hell they're doing or not doing anymore. I don't know. It sounds like Destiny's in a real bad spot.
People stop talking about it.
But there's also, hey, we need to buy this company before the competition can. If we buy Double Fine, if we buy Activision, that is keeping it away from Sony. Sony can now no longer buy these things. It's going to be more difficult for them to get those kinds of games. There was all sorts of uproar about when Microsoft bought Activision that, well, does that mean Call of Duty is not going to be on PlayStation? And they had to come out and go, yes, and it's still going to be on PlayStation. We're still going to keep making it for that. That's not going to be a thing. But they had to do that work. And that's the part. Like I understand why you buy all that stuff. But then when you just go, and then we're just not going to let them make video games. we're just gonna eat that cost and just have them sit there, and then strip them for parts and put them into our other things. Like, well, why are you in this business in the first place? And honestly, that's what they're thinking too. Microsoft is 100% been considering for a while that they might just want to get out of the video game business.
At this point, they should. Whether
they sell off the Xbox property or they just shut it all down and move everybody into Windows or Azure or whatever the fuck they're doing over there. It doesn't seem like they're that interested in making video games anymore. And that's fine if you didn't already buy all the video game people and
I know, dude,
sequester them and keep them from making games that they could have made otherwise. And that's the disappointing thing for me, is that yes, a lot of people got paid off and made some money, but everybody else got screwed, and we just lost the ability to have those things as game players. It's not a great situation.
No, it's an evolving one too.
It's also true. Yeah, it can always get worse, and it seems like it will. We didn't touch on EA as much. That's also shitty. There's a lot of financial stuff that doesn't even make sense to me of how
and
you buy a
protected
company,
classes,
but you also saddle them with all the debt. I don't understand how any of that shit works. But I know it's not going to be good for EA. It's not going to be good for the people who work at EA. It's not going to be good for the video games that EA produces, and it's not going to be good for us, the people.
I don't think we're going to get the new Mass Effect. I really don't.
At this point, I don't think it fucking matters.
Yeah, I agree. I agree,
and that's sad. It's sad that I heard people talking about, like, would they just sell off BioWare? Maybe, but does anybody want BioWare? They don't want BioWare. They want the IP.
Microsoft.
Maybe, but like, what does Microsoft do with them? Because
they honestly make a lot more sense over at Sony in a lot of ways.
Sure, but again, like, you're buying a studio of people. You're not buying the IP, unless you also buy the IP, which is going to be much more expensive. But that's what matters at this point. Sadly. Totally. Like, what matters is not BioWare. What matters is Mass Effect. What matters is
somebody should buy BioWare and bring Anthem back. Is what they should do.
Okay, you know what? I think you might actually be a worse choice to lead Xbox than Phil Spencer right now. But I've seen people spend more money on dumber ideas.
I have a PS4 to tell you. Yeah. Well, I think that this is going to be something that we talk a lot about moving forward. And I think it's going to continue to be an evolving and shitty situation. You've already made a decision a long time ago. I'm joining you in a lot of ways on how I'm approaching this service from them. My faith in Microsoft is paper thin at this point, and we'll see. I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't matter to them. It doesn't matter that I don't want to participate in their game as much as I used to. I enjoy gaming on my PC. I'm really enjoying kind of coming back to my PlayStation. I love my Nintendo Switch. I got some games coming around the corner for that. Got plenty.
I mean, ultimately, this has always been a value proposition, and we talked about it earlier that at one point Game Pass was that good deal, and you felt good about having it. The content that you got for the money that you paid made sense. Today, I think for a lot of people, that math doesn't make sense to them anymore. And then you throw in the morality stuff with BDS in Israel. You throw in the mismanagement of how Xbox is going. And I can see why you get a site crash of people trying desperately to cancel their subscriptions, because it feels like a perfect storm of bad PR, bad optics, and bad decisions all coming home to roost.
Yeah, man. It's like when your employer tries to tell you about total compensation package, like, oh, well, this is what you make, but this also includes all the benefits that you get with like healthcare and all that. Like, no, that's fucking price of admission. Pay me what I'm worth. Game Pass, like, don't try and say that you're justifying this increase because you get over 400 games now. If you're like, that's a lot of video games, but like a lot of it's fucking old news. Anyway, we'll continue to cover this. It's going to be an evolving thing. Obviously,
I can buy one of those 1001 game consoles too, but like,
absolutely,
that's a great value in one way, but also those are nothing. Like,
totally,
the promise is different there.
Absolutely,
and I think the same thing is happening with Microsoft and Game Pass.
Well, thanks for the conversation on it. I know that we're fired up and frustrated. We'll continue to evaluate it. We'll continue to tell you how we're feeling. We'll continue to tell you the facts. This week, though, we had some fun stuff going on. I talked about Starbirds earlier. You should go check that out. That was a fun stream. Missed having Chase there, but I get to hang out with him in real life tomorrow, and we're going to see a movie, and that'll be really fun. Tonight,
well,
we told you,
the hanging out will be fun. The movie,
yes, the movie might not be, but the hanging out will be good. We talked about some really fun games we're playing. We talked about the industry sucking. I'm going to try desperately to get my cousin to play Jump Ship with me. I really want to play that tomorrow night. If he will not play with me, I'm going to go try and kill a big fuzzy spider on Grounded tomorrow, because the tarantula is there. I want to kill it. I've been putting that off. But that's my plan right now for Friday night. I'm hoping to be jumping some ships. Chase, you've been a busy bee, right? You've been playing and doing things.
Oh, Bobby, you don't know how busy. Yeah. There's stuff, man. Yesterday, a new series debuted on Chasey K Plays. Go Play a Star Wars back. I'm playing. Yeah. Speaking of BioWare, I'm playing Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. The first one. I jumped in and went, wow. The game does not feel as good as 2. Like right out of the box, like there's definitely some quality of life stuff that they added in the second game, or that Obsidian added in the second game, that are not there in that first game. But I'm on Taurus now. I've got Karth on my team.
There you go.
We're gonna go find Bastila, and I'm excited to continue that series. Who knows how long it's gonna end up taking? But it's cool to get back to a game that I remember liking a long time ago.
In Galaxy far, far away. Yeah, there it is. There's the joke.
Thank you. So that's a lot of fun. I also have a new episode of Pilot Program out that I do with my good friend Pierce Corshane. The last episode was on the Bronx's Halt and Catch Fire. Yeah, that one's out now. I forgot that.
There you go.
So we had a really good conversation of that. I just finished up watching the entire first season of that, all 10 episodes, before we started recording today. So I have more. I'm looking forward to talking on our next episode about continuing Halt and Catch Fire, and then our next episode, which we decided is going to be on Ping Pong, the animation, a really cool anime that people should check out if they have not seen it previously.
Dope.
So that's what's going on there. I think that's it for me.
All right. Well, we will be back live tomorrow, 9 p.m. Central. We'll see you all then.